Hare Having a meeting.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. 60th anniversary of ISKCON ki Jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare.
So welcome everyone. Thank you so much for being here this evening for this very auspicious and special time celebrating the 13th of July 2026, which marks the 60th anniversary of the incorporation of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Haribol! Welcome to all of our wonderful special guests, all of Srila Prabhupada's disciples. We're very blessed and honored to have you here with us. His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj, who will be our keynote speaker this evening also. And I think I see Devaki Nandan Prabhu, senior devotees also, Braj Vilas Prabhu, and Gauranga Darshan Prabhu. Nice to have you with us also. So very blessed to have everyone here this evening. This is the final evening of what has been an amazing 8 days of festivities celebrating Srila Prabhupada's movement, the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. And I would like to thank all of the devotees who have helped so much to make this happen. We have a wonderful team of about 20 devotees who have been working very hard for weeks leading up and all this week. So we're very grateful to all of them. I think I can speak for all of us that we're very grateful to all of them. We're very grateful. Extremely grateful. We're really grateful, unbelievably grateful. And I speak for the community online as well. So this has just really been an amazing and wonderful evening. So we're going to continue in the way that we've done other evenings. We're going to start the evening by listening to a recording of Srila Prabhupada chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra here in 26 Second Avenue in 1966. And it's a very special recording, very early on, so early on that the devotees who are chanting, they don't even know the Panchatattva mantra. So when Srila Prabhupada chants, he will chant that 3 times and you won't hear them responding at all. But then when the Hare Krishna Mahamantra starts, then Srila Prabhupada will, the devotees will start to respond. So I'm getting signals from the back. Everyone who's trying to get in is asking, can we move a little bit closer? I just want to make sure we leave some space for Maharaj to walk by. But if we can move a little bit closer. Last time I checked, I think a square foot in New York is probably worth about $1,000 or something like that. So this is prime real estate each and every one of you is holding. So if you could just consolidate a little bit and move forward. Some other people would like to share in the real estate opportunity. So for those who can't make it in, we have set up overflow at the Bhakti Center on the 3rd floor in the temple room, where, by the way, it is likely you will hear much more clear. You'll also see more clear, and there's clear air conditioning and much space. So not trying to convince anyone to leave or anything, but if you want, it's a nicer venue. But this is the Holy Dham, and we're very fortunate to be here. So we're going to start this chanting. So we do request everyone, please, if you can, get your cell phones turned off so that nothing interrupts. This is such a nice mood and meditation for really connecting with Srila Prabhupada here. And but if your phone does go off during the talk, then you get the honor of sponsoring a set of the original Srimad Bhagavatams, okay? So I think they're about $151 each. So turn your phones on, in fact. Everybody turn their phones on. Okay. Hare Krishna. Okay, we're going to hope for the best with this. Unfortunately, our amazing MC Radhanath Prabhu is busy with a film shoot this evening. So I'm kind of filling in, so please forgive me for that. Hare Krishna.
Vivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Raja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Raja Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaurvata Vrinda Raja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaurvata Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Jai Nisvat Paramahansa Privrajaptaja Sadhara Satasana Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय, नामाचार्य शील हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरी गोवर्धन की जय, वृंदावन धाम की जय, नवद्वीप धाम की जय, समवेत भक्तवृंद की जय. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees. Gaur Pramanande Hari Hari Bol.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. I find that personally so inspiring. Srila Prabhupada came with the holy name and a box of Srimad Bhagavatams, convinced or hoping, in one sense, as he writes in Markandeya Bhagavad Dharma, that somehow Krishna would make his voice able to be heard by the people who are so confused here in this Western world, covered by the modes of ignorance and passion. And then sitting under the tree in Tompkins Square Park, chanting so purely, and so many started to come. So when we listen to this, we can just imagine what it was like to be sitting here in 1966. How many of you were there on Saturday for the drama in the Bhakti Center? Okay, quite a few. So you know that that day we did the drama of the signing of the documentation, which happened here. Actually, there was a big debate. The devotees really wanted to do that drama in this room to reenact that, and hopefully in the future we'll recreate that here. And that happened on July 11th, actually, so 2 days ago. And then it took some time for the processing, and then the formal final stamp was on the 13th of July, which is today. Haribol. Okay, we'll try that again. It was today, the 13th. All right. And you all are here in the place where it began. Haribol. And we also know in Prabhupada's diary, the 1966 diaries, the beginning diaries, that actually it was only July 1st that Prabhupada shifted from the Bowery and had that caravan of devotees walking down Bowery onto Houston, down 2nd Avenue, and they moved in here on the 1st of July. So many amazing things happening just in succession for Srila Prabhupada after struggling, as Leelamrita explained, struggling alone in the wilderness. So we've talked this week a lot. We've heard from all of Prabhupada's disciples many times and sharing their realizations of the past and so many austerities that we perform. Some of them we can't repeat openly again, I think. But so many austerities and different things that were going on just to start the mission and the movement. And here we sit 60 years on. And we're very blessed and honored to have with us our keynote speaker this evening, His Holiness Radhanath Swami, who in one sense really needs no introduction. I would like to introduce him as the person who conceived of the renovation and the restoration of this amazing holy dham here in the heart of the Lower East Side. Maharaj was sharing that for 10, 15 years he had been hoping, praying, wishing that this could manifest. And by the amazing leadership, guidance, enthusiasm, and inspiration of a person who has asked me to repeatedly not to say anything about him, but tonight I am breaking that vow by the mercy of our temple president here at 26 2nd Avenue, His Grace Gaur Kumar Prabhu, who is now trying to hide behind. So I don't want to embarrass him too much, but he's created a team. And also we had Adi Dev Prabhu and Vamana Dev Prabhu, Srila Prabhupada's disciples, who were super instrumental. Ananta Acharya Prabhu, who's standing there at the back. And so many devotees who were really involved with pulling this together and making it a beautiful place where pilgrims can come and really experience the presence of Srila Prabhupada as if they're walking back into 1966. And I wanted to share another part of the vision that Maharaj had, because a lot of people say, what is that curtain for? And you see right behind this Prabhu here, there's a curtain. So Maharaj wanted this curtain there, and I was thinking, why would we put a curtain in the middle of the whole thing? And Maharaj explained that this area out front would be like the exhibition area where you can tell the story of how Srila Prabhupada came, how he was situated here in his room at the back, and all the way to Tompkins Square Park, and the way that it looked just before the devotees left here, and 1968, beginning of 69, and the curtain could be closed for pilgrims when they come. And then he said that then the curtain is closed and they haven't had the chance to see this side of the room. And then he said, and now we're going to step back into 1966 with Srila Prabhupada. And then you open the curtain, and he said that their hearts should feel that connection with Srila Prabhupada. And personally, we have seen that actually devotees, literally, we do that and they start crying. So it's so powerful and so amazing for everyone to have this contact. So this is the vision of His Holiness Radhanath Swami. So we would like to invite him to please come and say a few words on the future of the International Society, or whatever he chooses to speak on. His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj Ki Jai.
Gyantimidantasya Gyananjanachalakaya Chakshurun militam yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam yena bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuthapatakamallam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vidham Tham Sajivam Sadvaitam Sapadutam Harijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahakana Valita Sri Vishakam Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanda Radha Kanda Namostate Jayata Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Bhavanibhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Binda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya, Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale, Srimate Bhakti Vedanta, Swami Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve, Gauravani Pracharine, Nirvishesha Shunyavadi, Astyatyadesh Satharine. Hare Krishna. Is anyone able to hear? Thank you. When Srila Prabhupada he was here, I don't believe he had any sound system. I'm very grateful to be with all of you in this truly holy place on this very holy day among such holy people. One of the great truths that is very much at the heart of happiness as well as true spirituality is what truly gives something value. In a very materialistic, spiritually disconnected society, people determine value on the basis of numbers of dollars or rupees, numbers of followers, power, fame. Srila Prabhupada, he once told pujaris when they were just putting very simple jewelry made out of glass or some simple material, he said that if they're offered to Krishna with love and devotion, they are more valuable than diamonds and rubies. Patram pushpam palam toyam yome bhakta prayachati. Krishna tells that he sees value only on the basis of love and devotion. He's the proprietor of everything that exists. Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. So he's really not in need of anything. When you're in a desert, you're about to die from thirst, and someone gives you a check for $1 billion. Does that have any value to you? Someone gives you a diamond ring, does that have value to you? But if someone gives you a cup of water, you value it as much as your own life. So Krishna's not in need of anything. but he gives infinite value to the heart of a devotee. In one place, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he declares that all the wealth in an entire universe is not as valuable to me as one devotee like Haridas Thakur, who is constantly chanting my names. So this little storefront, I believe in 1966, after so much struggle, decades of struggle in India, struggle on a cargo ship for 38 days with heart attacks and seasickness, getting to America, struggling practically alone with no support or anybody even taking interest for almost a year, getting robbed, getting threatened at such an old age. July 1st, 1966, he was given this little storefront. And I believe it cost something like $175 a month or something, or $100 a month. I think it was $100 a month. Yes, $100 a month and $75 for the room back there. But yet for Srila Prabhupada, this was the place where he would begin the movement of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for the whole Western world for the next 10,000 years. For many of us, when we go to Vrindavan, which is such a very, very holy place, still when we go to those little rooms of Srila Prabhupada at Radha Damodar Temple, it's so especially intimately holy to us. Very tiny little rooms. And very simple. But yet Srila Prabhupada declared that that little space to be the center of the spiritual world. Because it was close to where Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Sanat, all the 6 Goswamis, they would meet there to discuss the pastimes of Vrindavan, the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and how to bring this message to the whole world. Srila Prabhupada's guru, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, also had Pushpa Samadhi there at the Radha Damodar temple. And for so many years, he did his bhajan. He meditated with such pure love, pure compassion upon all living beings. It was there that he meditated on fulfilling the order of his Guru Maharaj, the will of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, to do what no one has ever done in the history of the world. No resources, no help, but he was meditating there. And when Srila Prabhupada came to the West, he brought with him in his heart the eternal abode of Vrindavan. He brought with him the love, the mercy, the compassion of Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhar, and all their devotees, Srivas and all devotees. He brought with him the 6 Goswamis and all of our acharyas in his heart. And he came to share that. And the place where he established our movement, the seed was planted in 1922 by his Guru Maharaj in Ultadangi Junction Road, which has recently been renovated and is now a place of pilgrimage for our ISKCON society and the world. And it was here, 26 Second Avenue, that it took root. There's a purport where Srila Prabhupada describes that wherever devotees are serving together to spread the message of Krishna, that place is Goloka Vrindavan. It's non-different than Goloka Vrindavan. I remember in this purport, he says, we have our new Vrindavan, and new Vrindavan is non-different than Vrindavan. And at the time I was living there, so I was thinking, this is really special. But then in the next line, he said, but every temple and every project where devotees are serving together is non-different than Goloka Vrindavan. So this truly is a very, very intimate, holy place. And in a certain way, when there's something really beautiful and majestic, it's so openly a place of awe and reverence for God. But this little Matchless Gifts storefront, it's still being rented. It takes really a very fortunate blessing in the heart to recognize how supremely precious, valuable, and holy this place is. What appears to be most ordinary is most sacred when we understand in its spiritual content. Just like when we put just a simple piece of glass or metal jewelry on the deities, it's more valuable than diamonds and gold and silver because it's being worn by Krishna and it's offered with devotion to Krishna. We're so fortunate. We should be so happy because it's so crowded here. And it's so hot. That's just such a blessing. We get to be in this holy place, recognizing its infinite spiritual value. And we're also causelessly being given the opportunity to do tapasya, to austerities here, to be absorbed here. From this little storefront, Srila Prabhupada began speaking on a regular basis from Srimad Bhagavatam. Bhagavad Gita was never done before in America. From this little storefront, going outside and doing Harinam Sankirtan was established for the first time. From this little storefront, the first press operation started with a little mimeograph machine. From this storefront, for the first time in history, regular prasadam distribution cooked from the hands of a pure Vaishnav. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he describes in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita when he went to the birthplace of his Guru Maharaj, Ishwarapuri. He took some simple, ordinary dust from the ground, apparently, and he ate it. And he put it on his head, and he was crying in ecstasy. Describing the priceless wealth of this dirt because it is from the birthplace of my Guru Maharaj. Was worth more to him than even the most enormous, wonderful skyscrapers of New York City. Just that dirt, which everyone walks on. Because he was feeling the presence and the mercy of his Guru in that dust. And he collected it. He took it with him. And it describes every day he would eat a little bit of that dirt and cry in ecstasy. He said, this dust is my wealth. It is my life and soul. Because it is the place of my Guru Maharaj. So we have gathered here, praying and begging to go deeper and deeper into our appreciation of truly not only what it represents, but the spirit that is all pervading in our hearts, all of our hearts throughout the movement. And it began right here. On July 13th, exactly 60 years ago today, the International Society for Krishna Consciousness was incorporated. When we read the purposes of ISKCON, we understand that Srila Prabhupada, he started the process of this incorporation while he was still living in the Bowery. He really wanted to do that. And it's really interesting because in 1953, he drew an incorporating paper to establish the League of Devotees in Jhansi. And the purposes are almost the same. This was not just for some legal official reason. Because the purposes that were established with the spirit, the eternal spirit of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that for the ultimate spiritual benefit of all humanity was being established here. I was to ask something, to speak something about the future. Srila Prabhupada didn't just incorporate ISKCON for some tax exempt. He incorporated ISKCON as an offering, as a statement to bring his movement into the future, as he said, for the next 10,000 years. To give it that recognition, to give it that form that he entrusted to all of us to develop. His Holiness Srila Satsvarup Goswami Maharaj describes when Prabhupada was in New York City in the context that he was planting the seed. And just imagine Srila Prabhupada's vision. He didn't incorporate ISKCON just so that he could get donations for this storefront. He incorporated ISKCON as a foundation for spreading Krishna consciousness all over the world. He had this impossible vision. How many have been to Mayapur Dham? How many have seen the latest progress of the Temple of the Vedic Planetarium? We have Vilas Prabhu and Sunandan Prabhu here. I'm not going to ask them to do a fundraiser tonight. But just their presence, we hear the reverberation of all the other ones. Can you imagine starting here in this little storefront with nothing, with no one? The first devotees who started coming here, they described when they came in, Srila Prabhupada was just sitting on the floor. This beautiful dais came later, after he actually had followers. He just sat on the floor with all the devotees, spoke to them, sang to them, not even devotees. There was no devotees. He was the only devotee west of Vrindavan. And now we see this incredible temple of Vedic Planetarium as one of his projects. When Srila Prabhupada incorporated ISKCON here, he was planting the seed for all of this. He had the vision. When Srila Prabhupada, 50 years ago, 1976, Srila Prabhupada was in Washington, D.C., and he asked Yaduvar Prabhu and Vishaka Devi to take photos of the Capitol, the dome of the Capitol building, because he wanted the dome of the Temple of Vedic Planetarium to be similar to that. Yes? That's what I was told. Srila Prabhupada had this vision. And how fortunate we are that by the mercy of Krishna, and I believe by the reciprocation of Krishna's grace, not only of the Temple of Vedic Planetarium is being fully built. Of course, there's Krishna Balaram. Srila Prabhupada left these little rooms in Radhanath that were being rented. And a few years later, Radha Krishna Balaram temple was built, Juhu was built, Mayapur. Temples all over the world. For almost any of us, his his situation when he first came here was the first glimpse of a spark of hope in years of almost hopelessness. And what was it that gave him that faith and that determination and that vision, despite all obstacles, disappointments, and betrayals? It was his love for Krishna. It was his love for Radhan Krishna. His love and gratitude to his Guru Maharaj. His total faith in Krishna's holy names. Srila Prabhupada had nothing, and yet he came with such deep compassion to give Krishna's mercy. Not only to the homeless in the streets in this neighborhood, but to the millionaires and the billionaires. He felt the same compassion for all of them. He looked like a poor pauper to the people, but he was carrying the greatest treasure. And Srila Prabhupada wanted to share that treasure of his love for Krishna. So yes, we go to Temple of Vedic Planetarium and we celebrate what Srila Prabhupada is doing. And then we come here and we get such an intimate, sweet experience of where Srila Prabhupada started and how he began doing it. We have Radhastami, the appearance of Sri Radha, and Janmastami, appearance of Krishna, Ram Navami, Narsingha Chaturdasi. We have appearance days of so many great acharyas. This is like the Janmastan and the Janmastami for the incarnation of ISKCON. We're celebrating. The International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Srila Prabhupada did not have one committed devotee in the world that was following him when he established his society. He had people who were helping him. No one was initiated. No one was living with him yet. But with all certainty, he incorporated as the International Society. And a society in Krishna consciousness means Krishna is really in the center. Samasiddhyar Haritoshanam. Our purpose is to please Krishna. And sometimes Srila Prabhupada would explain there are many spiritual organizations and religious groups, but the uniqueness about the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, it's It's a timeless culture and tradition that is based on unmotivated, uninterrupted, loving service to the Supreme. Srimad Bhagavatam. Srila Prabhupada came here with the holy name of Krishna and 200 sets of Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto. Savai pong sang paro dharmo yato bhaktir hokshaji ahoitaki apratihata yagatma suprasidati. Srila Prabhupada would emphasize many, many times, we are not sectarian. There are many religions in this world, and we are teaching that the true purpose, the true heart, the true essence is not just what we call the religion. Christian, Hindu, Muslim, Jewish, Jain, Sikh. True Dharma, according to Srimad Bhagavatam, is ecstatic, transcendental, loving service to the Supreme Lord that is unmotivated by any selfishness, any arrogance, any superficial bodily designations, and uninterrupted by any obstacle or temptation. Srila Prabhupada taught, we are not trying to convert people from one religion to another. We are trying to awaken people to understand the only true possibility of peace, the only true happiness for the soul is uninterrupted, unmotivated, pure love for God, for the Supreme. When they asked, should we name this International Society for God Consciousness, Srila Prabhupada said, in the world today, the word God is quite vague. But Krishna, Srila Prabhupada described, is very scientific. It's very deep. It's not a sectarian word. Krishna is the all-beautiful, the all-merciful, the supreme possessor of all opulence, is the ultimate object of love, the ultimate lover. Bhaktyamam abhijananti. Krishna declares, and it is declared in other scriptures as well, the only way to reach that love is through bhakti, through devotion. Such a vision. Srila Prabhupada's, his soul was overflowing with such infinite, ecstatic love for Radha and Krishna. And when he was sitting on the floor here with just a few people who didn't really know why they were even here, when he was chanting the holy names and speaking from the scriptures and offering prasad, it was the Hare Krishna ecstatic love of God just exploding from his heart for the whole world. In order for a society or a community to truly represent the purpose of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, it is actually determined by how each and every individual devotee takes responsibility. because a society is a group of individuals. And it's very personal. Each and every one of us should be going as deep as we can to represent this pure message that is the greatest, most essential, desperate need of the world today and forever. How am I taking shelter of the holy names of God? How am I taking shelter of living in harmony with the teachings of God? How am I taking shelter of this principle of unity and diversity, achintya bheda bheda tattva, where apparent disputes can be resolved in a higher principle, rather than our relationships being dissolved by lower principles? Kali Yuga is an age of quarrel and of hypocrisy. In order for us to spread a united movement of God consciousness, Krishna consciousness, the Sankirtan movement of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we need to be very serious. We need to take responsibility to unite on a higher platform than our egos, than our apparent disagreements, that are conditioned opinions of each other. Srila Prabhupada was seeing the eternal soul in everyone. Whatever the color of their skin, whatever their religious background, their nationalistic background, their social background, whatever their age, he was saying that everyone is a child of God. You know, there's bands playing in huge stadiums and elegant concert halls. And Prabhupada was playing a bongo drum under an elm tree in Tompkins Square Park, sitting on the ground. And in those days, Tompkins Square Park was really a run-down place. There was absolutely no material prestige for singing in Tompkins Square Park. And he was just doing it for free. But he was putting his whole heart with such gratitude, with his full consciousness, knowing that just playing that little drum and chanting was for Krishna's pleasure. He was surrendering his heart and his life to Krishna with the hope and the prayer that Krishna's blessings would shower upon the whole world. And we will make such beautiful spiritual progress if we actually follow Srila Prabhupada in this spirit. Because that was what he asked of us. Follow what I'm teaching you and share it with others. He didn't ask anything else. Just follow these teachings. They're Krishna's teachings. Sri Radha and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and all of our acharyas, their mercy is flowing through these teachings. Just follow them, and you'll be transformed. Before Srila Prabhupada left us, some devotees were crying, and They asked, how will we live without you? Srila Prabhupada said, because I will always be chanting Hare Krishna. If you are chanting Hare Krishna, we are always together. And this is a sublime spiritual truth. We have today on the internet Zoom. Yes, if you do a link, even if someone's in Australia or India or California or New York, we're all together. We look on the screen and we're all in the gallery. What do they call it? Real time. But actually, this whole material world, Maya means that which is not real. But when we're chanting Hare Krishna sincerely and taking shelter of the holy names in real time, real time means eternally. The link that we all connect with each other is beyond space, beyond time. Golokera Premadana Harinam Sankirtana. This holy name of Krishna, this Maha Mantra, has descended from Goloka. When we're truly attentively taking shelter of the holy names, we are literally, we're tuned into the Goloka Vrindavan, to Srila Prabhupada, to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, Panchatattva, all of our acharyas. They're all in the gallery. In real time, we're together. This is not just an idea. This is not just a imagination. This is for real. If you are chanting and I am chanting, we'll always be together. Such a simple statement. Trinada Pisaniche Nataror Ibasihishna. Amani Namana Dena Kirtaniya Sadhari. But to really link in to that connection as we're chanting, we must strive to live by this principle. Being humble like a blade of grass, tolerant like a tree, offering all respect to others and expecting none in return. Our own personal spiritual advancement is dependent on how we personally take this responsibility as the most serious opportunity in our life. And according to how each and every one of us take that responsibility, our society becomes more and more empowered to attract the world to participate in this eternal Zoom call of kirtan, of the holy names in the spiritual world with all of our acharyas. So the future of the next 60 years, the future of the next 10,000 years, it's beyond our imagination. But in many ways, what Srila Prabhupada did from this storefront was beyond everyone's imagination at that time. If we're just thinking and hoping that other people will do great things, that's good. But what we're being called upon is, as they say, to be that change we want to see in the world. We all know that beautiful story when Hanuman was carrying mountains and that little squirrel was just shaking grains of sand as a contribution to build that bridge. Lord Ramchandra saw that it's not the quantity of what we achieve that is valuable to him, but the sincerity and the dedication in which we're offering it. Hanuman took such responsibility to build that bridge, and the squirrel did the same. In the Madhya Leela of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu on his South Indian tour, it describes for that whole 2 years, wherever he went, he was teaching that simple message. Yari deka tari kaha Krishna upadesh amara goy guru harte tari desh. He was just teaching, chant these names of Krishna. And whoever you meet, instruct them in the message of Krishna. And in this way, be a guru. And to the Kurma Brahman, he described there's no reason for you to leave home. Just remain home with your family and put Krishna in the center. Teach your family, teach whoever you meet, and chant the holy names. And Srila Prabhupada describes wherever, Kaviraj Goswami, wherever Lord Chaitanya, he gave the same message. To take serious responsibility to follow these wonderful path of bhakti. And Srila Prabhupada said, the purpose of our International Society for Krishna Consciousness is that everybody chants the holy names of the Lord within our society and tries, through our example, through our words, to inspire that faith in others. In the world we're living in, there's so much dispute, so much division, and so much confusion. It's so important as a community that through our examples, through our care for one another, and through our words, we help each other to preserve and expand our faith in Srila Prabhupada and our Acharya's mercy, our faith in the holy names of Krishna, and our faith in their teachings. And if we're thinking about the future of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness on this day when it was incorporated, I believe it's a time when we should really reflect, be introspective and prayerful. How, as an individual and as a community, we could really take responsibility to be united with faith in the higher principle of Krishna's mercy. Srila Prabhupada represented that as our founder Acharya in such a magnanimous way to give us hope forever. So today we are sitting in this little storefront at the lotus feet of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. We're praying for His mercy. And as he prayed in the Jaladuta to be an instrument of Krishna's grace, we are praying to be an instrument of the grace that he brought to this world. Thank you very much.
So, Radhanath Swami Maharaj ki jai. So thank you very much, Maharaj, for that very deep, profound, inspirational talk. And again, we're grateful to everyone here. We would like to, one little part we're going to conclude with is Maharaj was speaking about the future and taking responsibility. We have one garland that is left here to garland Srila Prabhupada, and I was thinking, who can we get to garland Srila Prabhupada? Of course, Prabhupada. Okay, Maharaj is saying someone. I had a different idea, but okay. Yadu Barpu, you have been nominated. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. His Grace Yadu Bar Prabhu ki jai. Haribol. Okay, so we're going to have a kirtan in just one moment, and then we're going to serve prasadam as a conclusion to our week's events. Before we do, I would just like to announce make a couple of announcements. First, we'd like to thank all our volunteers for this evening. I mentioned that we have a wonderful team of devotees, so I would like to mention them by name, so please bear with me. They've all been, most of them have full-time jobs and families and lives, and they've been here every day this week, serving from many of them in the morning early until late at night. There's a crew of us who have been here last thing in the evening cleaning up. So I'd like to start with Vrenda Gopi Devi. She has taken responsibility to arrange the beautiful garlands for Srila Prabhupada every single day, and all of Prabhupada's disciples every day, except for today. We didn't have so many garlands. Amish Prabhu, who is looking after organizing, structuring the evening program and making sure everything ran smoothly. Haribol. Anuradha Priti Devi, who took care of all the decorations in the front of the building and also the vases and different decorations. Haribol. Bhakta Ari, who is the most calm and patient tour guide, guest greeter we've ever had. He's just like, in the middle of madness, he's like, excuse me, we need to make space for the Swami to come. Or telling people they can't come in. I'm really sorry. On the order of Prabhupada and Radhanath Swami, you're not going to be able to get in tonight. Bhava Bhakti Devi, who's been guest greeting and also making sure everyone in the world gets to see this program by streaming. Karuna Gauranga Prabhu was helping with overseeing the volunteers. Jagannath Gopal Prabhu, who's been doing so many things behind the scenes. Dr. Karan, who was overseeing all of our extra volunteers. Nupur Devi, who stands tirelessly day in and day out overseeing the merchandise counter. Bhaktin Jena, who was in charge of our fundraising and did such a wonderful job with that. Raj Lakshmi Devi, who has been our head chef. In one sense, she oversaw the menu and working with the devotees, all the cooks, the wonderful cooks from the Bhakti Center. I'll say a little bit more about that in a moment. Sankirtan Acharya Prabhu, who is also part of our donor care team. Sundari Saki Devi, who was overseeing a few nights here in the Dham. Raj Toshini, who was overseeing media and trying to get devotees to come. And of course, Yadunath Prabhu, who did this wonderful drama and was our MC. I think I left out our president, Gaur Kumar Prabhu, who is our master, and we've all been trying to serve him to the best of our ability to make this a wonderful occasion for his pleasure. And I just also wanted to give a mention to the devotees at the Bhakti Center who have been so wonderfully supporting this project, cooking prasadam every night and making sure it's available. A team of 4 cooks cooking for everyone every evening, making sure everything is running on time. So many little aspects that the Bhakti Center has so wonderfully helped to coordinate with, having the overflow, having the classes there on the Saturday, Sunday, serving prasadam, huge feast. Who had the feast on Sunday? Anyone had the Sunday feast? Okay. Was it okay? Okay. So like that, so we can do a big Haribol for the devotees of the Bhakti Center. Represented here by His Grace Sundarnath Prabhu, who's overseeing things. And let me see, we forgot to announce last night. I have a list of our donors. And of course, if anyone is still inspired to make a contribution for this event, you're most welcome. If not, I'm going to ask Braj to come up and speak. No, I'm just kidding. So for our final night tonight, Emily, Alexopoulos, Manoj Chawla, Ronit Nai, Chitra Sahadev, Sadbhuj Gauranga, Sham Hari Prabhu, and Prema Mai Devi, and Bhavesh Gupta. These were our donors for last night and tonight. So we'd like to thank all of them also for helping to make this happen. Last announcement, it was mentioned, Prabhupada came with 2 cases, 200 books. I think it was two cases of books. We do have those replicas here. In fact, we just had 4 more sets delivered. I think we only have 5 sets left. They're out of print, so they're very rare. Not as rare as the originals, but we have those. And we also have Prabhupada's 1966 diary available here if anyone is interested. So we're going to now have kirtan. And we'd like to thank all of Prabhupada's disciples for coming every night. Many of them so inspired to come here, for sacrificing their lives, for taking responsibility, as Marge was mentioning, to make sure that all of us get the opportunity of Krishna consciousness. So we're extremely grateful to all of you, all of them who aren't here with us, yeah, just extremely grateful to everything that you've done. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. So if Yadu Prabhu, would you like to lead us in kirtan this evening? Do you feel up for it? Yeah, we would love. Would you like for Yadu Prabhu to lead kirtan? Sorry, I didn't hear you. Would you like Yadu Prabhu to lead? Would you like harmonium, Prabhu, or? Oh, I forgot one exalted devotee who was helping with the Harinams every day this week was Hadai Pran Prabhu. And he said to me this evening that, look, Prabhu, can I get a seat tonight? Because he's been kicked out every night. He couldn't make it in because he goes for the Harinam. And I said, you can sit in the front, but you have to lead Kirtan. And he led Kirtan for 2 hours from ours. So he had to sing for his seat this evening. So we really appreciate Hadai Pran Prabhu for making the Harinams every day. 4 o'clock, we went out to Tompkins Square Park and so many things. Hadai Pran Prabhu Ki. Bye.
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatare Sadarine Sadai Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Radha Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Radha Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Radha Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Prabhu Nityananda Shivasari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Everyone. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Again, please. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Rama, one more time. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Bol. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bolo bolo. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Bol. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Whoa! Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Gauranga, 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 Jaya Gauranga. Jaya Gauranga, Jaya Gauranga, Gauranga, Jaya Gauranga. Dekha go Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Dekha go Hari Bol. Dekha go Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Dekha go Hari Bol. Dekha go Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Dekha go Hari Bol. Srila Prabhupada ki. The glorious 60th anniversary of ISKCON ki. Srila Prabhupada ki. Gaur Premanande.
Hare Krishna. His Grace Yadu Bal Prabhu ki. So this formally concludes our 8 days of festivities to celebrate the incorporation of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. And we are serving prasadam outside. So if you would like to, you can make your way outside now to honor prasadam. We can say the prasadam prayer. Would you like to lead us? Mahaprasade Govinde, Nama Brahmani Vaishnave, Swapa Punya Vatan Raja, Vishvashona Vijayate, Asharirada Vijaja, Jodindriya Taika, Jivapale Vishaya Sagare, Dhamaji Javayati, Lobomoy Sidomati, Takajata katina samsare Krishna baradoyamoy Hori bari jiva joy Swaprasadana dilobai Sayana amrita pa Radha Krishna gunaga Hamidiko Shri Chaitanya Nitai Janamai Janitai Bhagavad Prasadam Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Murlidhar Bhagavad Prasad Ki Jai Janitai Go to Premanandi. And do you have some more of these? Okay. I was going to tell anyone if they wanted them, then they could come see you. Okay. So Pancharatna Prabhu has this beautiful postcard size of the ISKCON 7 purposes. If anyone is interested, then...
Only if you promise to memorize them.
Okay. So it comes with a caveat. You have to promise to memorize them, and he will call you and check up as well. So like that. Now, if we could please allow Srila Prabhupada's disciples to be the first ones to exit. There's prasadam outside, and we'll also